for today's cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee!
We have something that it's fascinating, but I find it highly disturbing.
What is it?
And because we deal in the realms of the disturbing.
What is it? What is it?
This comes from Daily Mail by Victoria Allen, May 15th of 2023. Scientists have issued a warning after discovering complex human DNA can be detected from the air, water, and even a footprint on a sandy beach.
So they just snatching our DNA out of thin air.
Yeah,
basically.
Literally. It says this could be a vital breakthrough when murderers refuse to reveal where they have buried their victims, allowing DNA-seeking drones to find human remains in remote locations.
You know those things can be shot down, right?
Anonymity is over, as DNA in the air and water means people could in the future be tracked wherever they go. Yeah, that's not unsettling in the least, is it?
Right? What happens if you track a drone with a drone? Will they get you for drone tracking?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like I have been transported to this totally different dimension, and I don't like it.
Right?
I don't like it.
That's when you gotta confuse the fuck out of them.
That's true. It's a matter of thinking differently, because this type of warfare is not kinetic at this point. It's like nothing that we've ever seen before.
How do you get through Wonderland? You think like them.
You're right. You are absolutely correct. And that's where those of us that are older are, we're going to have to rely on you all to teach us some of these things. Okay? Scientists have issued a warning after discovering complex human DNA can be detected. Okay, I think I've already read that part. And this could be a vital breakthrough. I've read that part. And the scientists behind the warning are more used to informing the public about sea turtles, normally using DNA in the environment to learn about turtle diseases. I love sea turtles.
I love them too.
And
we need to get us like a little sea turtle that we can hang from like the ceiling.
A fake one, not a real one.
No, not a real one.
I know, but you have to, clarify in today's world.
For the craft room, since it's sea
that'd be
themed.
great. That'd be great. It's drunken skeleton pirates in the...
I need to find the pufferfish. Now that one was real.
Yeah, we all did.
That one was a souvenir from Myrtle Beach.
It was. It says that, however, while they were researching the sea turtles, they found a huge amount of human DNA in their samples, so they decided to investigate further. And it emerged it is possible to remove DNA in the air from a veterinary hospital building and the water in rivers and oceans and even the sand on the beach. This DNA reveals people's genetic ancestry, like whether they are European, and genetic mutations which show someone's risk of diseases from diabetes and autism to heart disease, based on the results of 6 DNA samples from water and 2 from the air. And even though that's a very small sample, the fact that they were able to do that with just 6 samples...
Yeah. I mean, that's...
It's troubling. It's highly troubling.
Fam. You put those cells back.
Yeah, it says, but worryingly, the researchers said enough DNA was available from the air in a room or footprints on the beach to show if an individual person had been there.
That's disturbing.
If the person's DNA was known. Now, there are already concerns that millions of people voluntarily providing their DNA for family tree research or to find out if they are descended from Vikings risk creating a massive genetic database, which could in the future be misused by insurance companies with an interest in knowing people's risk of future illness. This truly... But DNA captured
that is
from...
fucked up.
captured
Many
from the
levels.
air and water without the knowledge of the people it belongs to could have even worse consequences for privacy. Dr. David Duffy, who led the DNA project from the University of Florida, said, quote, "We've been consistently surprised throughout this project at how much human DNA we find and the quality of that DNA. In most cases, the quality is almost equivalent to it if you took a sample from the person. There is enough DNA in the environment to potentially track people in the future if you had the information about their DNA. That raises concerns about surveillance and privacy," end quote. Human DNA is exhaled and coughed into the air, flushed into waterways from the toilet, and left in the natural environment as we walk through it.
See, that's why you gotta close the lid when you flush.
DNA in sewage works from household toilets.
Close the fucking lid.
It's not that we have a septic tank. They're talking as far as people that have an actual
Do you know
sewer
how many
thing.
particles fly up when you...
Ew, people trying to drink coffee here. DNA in sewage works from household toilets is already used to track the spread of disease, such as the coof, monkeypox, and TB.
You just don't want to be...
I don't want
You
to
don't
think
want-
about it. I don't want to think. Leave me happy with
You
some
don't
of
want
my
to be
ignorance.
faced with the fact that you are being fronted with
Just quit,
shit
stop.
particles every single time.
Are you kidding? I had 2 children and I changed diapers for years. I have been confronted by it.
But every
Totally,
single time
completely.
you go to the bathroom...
It's just let your body do what it's supposed to do on some of this stuff.
What your body's supposed to do, it's supposed to go in a hole in the ground.
That's true. That's true. But the evidence that DNA in the environment is such high quality means that it could be used to find archaeological sites if importance containing graves of human sacrifices. Now, that's what I think is interesting. Of all the things they mentioned human sacrifices. Really?
Sacrifice.
And the researchers did not test whether someone's DNA could be found in a room after they have recently left it, but previous studies suggest that this is possible, which could help criminal investigations. Well, if they can find it in footprints on the sand, more than likely it's going to be still be present in a room where somebody was if they were breathing.
Yeah, very much.
So that's kind of a no-brainer on that.
Breathe in the same room of air for
Yeah.
the rest of your life.
You're going to have, as far as gas masks, have a huge demand of those.
Yeah.
It says human DNA was also found in rivers in Ireland and Florida, as well as a beach in Florida. So I guess it's the rivers versus the actual sand.
Yeah.
The concern from the findings published in the journal Nature, Ecology, and Evolution is that the breakthrough could mean certain ethnic groups could in the future be found in areas by authoritarian governments who are persecuting him. That should scare the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, it absolutely should. Because that's some scary shit right there.
Now, let's face it, and as far as the history of humanity, we have had many times over where certain groups have tried to eradicate other groups.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of the earmarkings of some of this coming again, which is frightening. I know it terrifies you. I do know that. That's the reason I try
terrifies
not.
a lot of my generation because it's like, dang, we haven't even got a chance.
Right, I get that. But that's a matter of, like you were discussing earlier, that you all are the ones that need to figure out a way to combat some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it is. It is like, I don't know.
With as much weirdness.
I don't know how to describe it. It is like this weird thing. It's like,
Right. I get that. I do. I get that. But it's also one of those that with as much weirdness as we have been bombarded with over quite a few years now, are they going to come up with some shit to try to literally change somebody's DNA? Now, I know
they already are.
I know that we have recently had shit that was changing people's DNA.
Yeah.
whether they want to admit it or, well, they have admitted it. Certain peoples have admitted it. Some people they just don't want to hear that.
I mean,
they're in denial
they're
of it.
slowly coming out with admitting cloning.
Oh, they've been pretty, upfront on that.
Mm-mm.
But as far as some of this
upfront
other
as far
stuff,
as secret.
now you think about it, when you're giving somebody so it's like, oh, do you want to change your DNA? Leave it alone.
Yeah, don't fuck with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't meant for you to fuck with.
Well, honestly, there is prophecy that discusses this. And it's one of those, it's like, when you are doing whatever to where you're no longer totally human, and if you're fucking around with your DNA and stuff like that, or letting somebody else do it, I can see how this could easily go in with some of this transhumanist stuff.
Yeah. I mean, think of all like the medical shots and all that. In a way.
There ain't nobody gonna inject me for nothing. It's like, fuck that.
I ain't trying to say anything against all of them, but like,
no, I mean, it just makes you stop and think. Because where people, it seemed like more people had ethics than they do now. Yeah.
It truly does. Yeah, I mean, it is some scary. It's some scary-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was definitely weird.
That's
weird. Scary.
Scary, not weird. Scary.
Yeah. This is more, it's just people don't care what we talk about on this stuff. They know that it's going to be some kind of, it's freaky shit. And that's what we could just, as far as in the description box, who we are, freaky shit.
Yeah.
Paradankness and freaky shit. So, final thoughts on this, kid?
This is some fucked up shit, and like seriously, this is going too far. This is starting to become dystopian at this point now, honestly.
Yeah. I think that's what concerns everybody, especially with the robots and the AI and all that bunch of stuff that's going on right now.
Yeah. Like, for real.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. If you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, mad scientists with fallen angels behind them, you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. I promise at some point I will read and respond to the emails. I just got behind and then I get overwhelmed. Article will be in the description box as well as the email address.
Yeah. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all and have a good.
And I was sitting there thinking as you were doing your outro and stuff, the one thing that those of us that are older, and hopefully a lot of y'all your age and stuff, the main weapon of warfare that we have is prayer.
That is true.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
and that is something that is our responsibility to teach that to you all and to other people.
Yes, and everybody knows we need prayer right now.
Yeah. People think it's
everybody needs to pray right now.
People think it's just speaking to the sky, and it's not.
No.
It's speaking into a different realm. Yeah. So, I know the power of prayer. We've seen the power of prayer. So, we keep doing that. That's why it's like to tell the people that take the time to share coffee with us each day that they're loved, because you all are loved. And encourage, pray one for another, because that's what's going to get us all through.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Lord willing, we will see you on the next cup. Be of good faith.
Yeah.
God ain't done with this.
No.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.